What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It's your boy Ghost back in the building. Welcome back to another episode of BMSL, and this is your weekly vlog. And there's a lot going on right now, man. There's a lot of people that are out here struggling with the 95. Apparently, there's been reports that men have been dropping out of the workforce, and I just wanted to speak on that real quick, man. And it's absolutely true. A controversial opinion here. But if you're a man in America or even in the East as well, I don't think the workforce is for you. Okay? And let me explain. The workforce is female dominated. Okay? Out here in the West, no matter what, if you're a woman, you're going to get favorable treatment. If you're a man and you stand on your square, you're not going to get favorable treatment. I'll give you an example. Recently, I was suspended without pay from work because I had been standing up, for lack of a better word, to my manager, which is a woman. Okay? Now, keep in mind, this woman is fucking the boss. She believes she has the power, and she's talking to us as if she can talk to us any type of way. I'm not one who's going to stand for that. So, of course, I'm going to talk back, right? It's always been in a respectful, professional tone, though, because again, I'm always careful about what I say, even on the internet, and I'm even more careful of what I say in front of the normies, or what I like to call vanilla people. Okay? Because I know at the end of the day it can get misinterpreted into meaning something different. Now, personally, I don't have time to be trying to explain myself. What do I mean by this or what do I mean by that? I try to keep it as short as possible and trying to get in and out in the shortest amount of time. So that way there is no drama. Now there is drama. Okay. I came down to Arkansas from Texas to accept a contract job, and I accepted the job under the impression that I was going to be getting paid about $4,000 a month. Okay. Now, as soon as I got on, my hours were reduced, and I wasn't able to get the overtime that I needed to make that amount of money. Now, most people say, hey, you can live on far less, and maybe that's true for you, but my budget is already set. Investments have already been set month to month. Savings, things like that, recouping my lost funds has always been my number one priority. Okay, so everything in between, I'm not trying to hear. Okay, so when I lost that extra shift, it hurt my pockets tremendously, right? So I said, hey, no problem. I can pick up some extra shifts here and there because people always want to get off of work. No issue. I tried to take advantage of that. Okay. Now she stepped in and stopped that from happening. Now I didn't know any of this, but apparently it's been told to me that she's been making moves without letting anybody know, and bringing in her own people so that way they can thrive, which I don't have a problem with. But what I do have a problem with is when other people have to suffer for your selfishness when you're not even the owner of the company. Okay. Now, recently I got into an argument with a manager, which is the same person who we're talking about here, and she was panicking. She was in panic mode. She was late. She was flattered. She was all over the place, out of uniform, stuff like that. No one cares. She's a manager. We're not going to say anything, right? Because we've all had those days. We've all been here before, whether we got a flat tire, we woke up late, whatever the case may be. We didn't leave on time. We had a situation at home. We understand. And I relieved the person who was staying overnight. And I always make sure to be at work about 10 to 15 minutes early, so that way we can make sure we don't have any of these problems, especially when we have a manager who only comes to work on time. Now, when she comes in, she starts yelling, accusing me of never answering my phone, and she starts gaslighting and manipulating me. You guys understand what that's like when a situation is clearly not your fault, and they obviously try to flip it back on you. Now, see, I'm not the type who's going to sit there and take that lying down. Okay, so I let her know, listen, you could always send a text message. You didn't send no text message. Obviously, my phone's on Do Not Disturb. I usually wake up at 6 o'clock. It's not even 6 yet. And even when it did turn 6, the only thing I can see is my missed calls. Okay, so when I finally pulled up my phone, I see that she tried to call. Obviously, it's really not that big of a deal. She's here now, right? But then she starts to continue trying to berate me and try to make me feel like I'm less than. See, again, I'm not one to take that lying down. So while she was doing all that, there was another coworker there who was listening to her. I walked away because I knew the situation could get ugly had I stayed there, and I would have said something that I would have possibly regretted, and I didn't want to do that. So I walked away. Now, ever since that moment, there's been an escalation of discrimination, and I want to say a campaign to get me removed from the job site that I traveled over 3,000 miles to get there. And it's absolutely frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating because no matter what I do or where I go, I'm always being held back, or somebody sees something in me and they feel threatened, and then they try to keep me in a little box, try to keep me compliant so that way I can keep on relying on them, right? I've been suspended for 5 days from my shift because of this lady. False claims and stuff like that. Now, I don't know at this point what direction I want to go in. I obviously, because of my failed businesses, can't start a business because my savings has been exhausted. I have 2 failed businesses, but the last one is especially detrimental to my finances and to me as well as my business partner. And so I'm not really in a position to kind of start another business or to look in another direction. So I kind of need a good paying job. I need to travel around the country and just go where the money is. But in corporate America, in this job market that we're in right now, if you're a man like me who stands on his square, who just wants to go to work and come home and work on his side business, the workforce is not for you. The workforce is not for you at all. Preferential treatment because she's a woman. Preferential treatment because she has a pussy between her legs. Preferential treatment because as soon as she cries, those wet works, she's gonna get some attention, right? Now this woman is married, and my boss is married as well, and yet they're still having an affair, which I have no problem with. Again, I grew up in an environment to where that is normalized. Okay, their wives and husband are probably like, good, I'm glad they're fucking each other because I don't want to fuck them anymore. That's just how it goes. And I've accepted that reality. But when you start bringing that drama into the workplace and you start intentionally trying to get people fired and shifts taken away, then that becomes a problem because now you're fucking with my money. Now I'm between a rock and a hard place because I go back in there, I'm going to have to kiss some ass in order to get back on the right track. And I'm going to have to continue to kiss some ass. And I'm not trying to do that. Listen, I get it. You're going to have to do what you got to do. But at the drop of a dime, at any point in time, she can just cut me off and say, hey, you know what, boss? This is what he's doing. I don't think he's a good fit. And that boss, guess what? He's going to fire the shit out of me for no fucking reason at all, without any proof. All he's doing is believing what she says. And it's a sad reality. It's a sad state of affairs that we're in as men because we can't necessarily be who we naturally are. And this is a problem when I had it in school as well. If I say my opinion too loudly, if I write too boldly in a paper, they're going to fail me and they're going to try to push me down as far as possible. If I lead too well, then they're going to try to remove me from that position and they're going to try to push me down to the bottom. Right? And if people gravitate towards me, then they're not gonna like that at all. So I don't know what the fuck the solution is, bro, because at this point I can't really afford to go and be jobless for another 3 to 6 months. Okay, I just can't afford it, man. The workforce is not for us. The 9 to 5 life is all bullshit. You know, you're working 50, 60 hours a week just to get home and get a paycheck worth $1,400, and your rent is $1,200, and you still got to buy groceries for the 2 weeks that you have in between the next time you get paid. It's absolutely positively astounding that anyone can survive off of $2,000-3,000 a month without struggling or without drastically low living below your means. I mean, you can't even afford to get your nails done, get your hair cut, to do anything that you want to make you to ease your suffering, to ease your burden or anything like that, man. And so I don't know what the solution is. I'm not looking for a solution. I've accepted where we are as a society. I've accepted where we are in a state of a world as men, and I don't like it. We're getting taxed to death right now. Especially if you work overtime. If you work overtime, bro, you're not even gonna see a dime of that overtime. If you work overtime every single day for 365 days, 6 months of those days, half of your check is going to the government. More than half of your check is going to the government. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. So without proper planning, and I guess without the know-how or the information that is out here, man, you'll never be able to kind of know what's really going on out here. And so what do you see? You start seeing a lot of guys electing to go their own way. You start seeing a lot of guys pandering. You see a lot of guys softening up for this job market so they can keep their job. You see a lot of guys doing things that they know in their biological nature they should not be doing. But they're doing it anyways because they're fucking pandering to the agenda and the woke mindset that has infected this country for so long. Okay? So I don't know what the solution is, guys. I'm really just out here trying to do my best to work, go home, and I'm not trying to fuck with anybody except for focused on this business that I'm doing, which is YouTube. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm the only one who sees that this 9 to 5 bullshit is really bullshit, and this work environment in the West is not for us. It doesn't favor us in any way, just like marriage doesn't favor us in any way. And I'm not looking for a fucking solution. Again, I said that 3 times. I'm accepting the reality of it, and I'm just pivoting. I'm just pivoting completely outside of the current system that we have, and I'm looking for a better way. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below, man. It's been fun rocking with y'all. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the subscribers as well. It's been Ghost. I'm out. I'll see you next time. Tap in Thursday as well because we got a groundbreaking video that's going to be coming out about John and Kate +8 and their messy ass divorce. I'll see you Thursday and then next Monday. Peace.